In January 2018, a rising social media star made a fatal mistake. He name-dropped one of Mexico's most ruthless cartels in a video. 3 weeks later, security cameras captured his brutal execution in broad daylight. Another viral moment, but this time, it would be his last. On December 18th, 2017, Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales, better known as El Pirata de Culiacán, stepped into Menta tu Cantaros bar in Zapopan, unaware that within the hour, 4 armed men would walk through those same doors, turning his celebration into a bloodbath. Born into poverty in Sinaloa, Juan's early life was shaped by abandonment. His father was never in the picture, and his mother left him with his grandmother at a young age. At 15, he dropped out of school and moved to Culiacán, searching for a better life. But Culiacán, a city synonymous with cartel power, had other plans for him. While working as a car washer, Juan found solace in alcohol. It numbed his struggles. Then one night, he recorded himself chugging an entire bottle of vodka in one go, and the internet ate it up. That one reckless stunt catapulted him to fame. Nightclubs started paying him just to show up and drink. Music videos featured him as a guest star. His social media exploded. Over 1 million followers on Facebook, another 100,000 on Instagram. The scrawny teenager who once washed cars had become Mexico's self-proclaimed drunken sensation, but fame went to his head. He started flaunting guns, luxury cars, and women. His videos became more outrageous. Then, in December 2017, during a drunken party, he made a fatal error, recording a message mocking El Mencho, the leader of the CJNG, one of Mexico's deadliest cartels. What Juan didn't understand was that El Mencho wasn't just another celebrity to poke fun at. He was a man who built his empire through ruthless violence, a man who would execute entire families over mere rumors of betrayal. With that one video, Juan sealed his fate. On December 18th, he announced on social media that he'd be partying at his favorite bar in Jalisco, a region controlled by CJNG. He might as well have painted a target on his back. At exactly 11 p.m., 4 men entered the bar. Without a word, they pulled out their guns and fired 15 bullets into Juan's head. The shots were so powerful, his face was unrecognizable. Authorities had to identify him by his tattoos. A bartender also lost his life that night. Collateral damage. In a message written in blood. The meaning was clear. Mock CJNG, and you die. And here's the chilling part. If this is how El Mencho dealt with a simple joke, imagine what happens to those who actually cross him. But while Juan's story shows the deadly consequences of mocking a cartel leader, our next case proves that even using humor to discuss Mexico's social issues can be just as dangerous. On February 5th, 2018, Leslie Ann Pamela Montenegro, known online as Nana Pelucas, was out on a date with her husband. It seemed like just another Monday night, or so she thought, when 5 men walked into the restaurant and ordered beers. No one suspected a thing. Minutes later, Leslie was dead. Unlike Juan, Leslie wasn't a party-loving internet star. She didn't chase clout through reckless stunts. She was a voice for truth. Through her YouTube channel El Sillon, she tackled Mexico's deep-rooted corruption, blending comedy with hard-hitting journalism. Wearing an oversized black afro wig, bright red lipstick, and thick-rimmed glasses, she created Nana Pelucas, a grandmotherly character unafraid to call out politicians and criminals alike. Her sharp, satirical videos made complex issues accessible to everyday people. But truth comes at a cost. The Acapulco Cartel, one of Mexico's most violent criminal organizations, didn't take kindly to journalists exposing their secrets. They were responsible for more murders in the region than any other cartel. And Leslie, she had been on their radar for a while. Her reporting was getting too close to cartel operations. And when that happens in Mexico, the warnings come fast. First, there were narco mantas, threatening banners left near her restaurant in Acapulco. The messages accused her of working with rival cartels, a common intimidation tactic used to justify an execution. Leslie refused to back down. She denied any cartel connections and continued exposing corruption, believing that truth was worth the risk. But on the evening of Leslie's voice, February 5th, 2018, that risk caught up with her. While out on a date with her husband, 5 men approached her table. They didn't say a word. They just pulled their guns and shot her multiple times, in the face and abdomen. Leslie's voice, the one that had brought both laughter and truth to so many, was permanently silenced. But the tragedy didn't end with her murder. The investigation that followed exposed the exact corruption Leslie had been fighting against. One of her killers, El Pepas, was identified as a cartel hitman. The evidence against him was undeniable, and yet, somehow, a judge dismissed the case. The system Leslie had spent years criticizing was now protecting her killers. Her husband, Samuel, refused to let her death be forgotten. He pushed for answers, demanding to see the evidence prosecutors claimed to have. But like so many other cases in Mexico, justice never came. Leslie's assassination sent shockwaves through Mexico's journalism community. How could someone so bold be silenced in such a public way? And yet, no one did anything. Acapulco, once a world-famous paradise for tourists, had become one of the most dangerous cities on Earth. The U.S. government even issued a travel ban to the region, warning its citizens to stay away. While El Pirata had died for a moment of drunken bravado, Leslie's story was far more chilling. It proved that in cartel-controlled territories, even humor could be a death sentence. But as our next case will show, sometimes people attract the cartel's attention without even trying to expose them. Fofo Marquez, on July 14th, 2023, rush hour traffic crawled across the Matute-Rimas Bridge in Guadalajara when suddenly all lanes came to a halt. 3 luxury sports cars had stopped in the middle of the bridge, completely blocking the road. Drivers honked in frustration. Some pulled out their phones to record the chaos. Among them was Fofo Marquez, a 26-year-old TikToker, grinning at his camera as he filmed what he thought was just another prank video. But this stunt was about to turn his life into a nightmare. Born in 1997 into Mexico's elite, Fofo Marquez had never known what it meant to struggle. His father owned a successful gas station empire called Total Gas, and young Fofo made sure the world knew just how rich he was. He built a massive social media following by flaunting his wealth, showing off his collection of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Rolex watches, partying in exclusive clubs, and throwing wads of cash around like it was nothing. To his millions of followers, he was Mexico's ultimate rich kid. But to some people, his wealth wasn't something to be bragged about. It was something to be taxed. On July 14th, 2023, Fofo crossed a line he never should have. Drunk on fame and his own sense of invincibility, he decided to pull off his biggest stunt yet. Standing in the middle of Guadalajara's Matute-Rimas Bridge, blocking rush-hour traffic with 3 high-end sports cars, he smirked into his phone's camera. Then he said the words that would change his life forever. "We've shut it down, just for us. This is what money and power can do. I wanted to prove a point. When you have wealth, you can do whatever you want." Within 24 hours, the clip had over 10 million views. Some fans cheered his audacity. Others were furious. The mayor of Guadalajara threatened legal action. TikTok suspended his account. But what he didn't realize was that he had angered the one group he couldn't apologize to, because this bridge wasn't just any bridge. It was in CJNG territory, and El Mencho, the same cartel leader, infamous for executing people over the smallest slight, had taken notice. Days after the video went viral, a chilling message appeared on Facebook. Fofo Marquez, be careful. We won't let you come to Guadalajara thinking you can do whatever you want. In Jalisco, the boss is El Mencho. If we see you here again, we'll kidnap you, and not even all the money in the world will save you. The post spread like wildfire. While some doubted the cartel would use social media to issue threats, Fofo wasn't taking any chances. His family immediately hired private bodyguards. The carefree millionaire who once boasted about his power now lived like a prisoner, trapped inside his parents' Mexico City mansion, constantly looking over his shoulder. He couldn't leave the house without a full security detail. He carried a radio at all times, staying in constant communication with his guards. Every trip outside had to be meticulously planned. The money that once gave him freedom, that once allowed him to shut down bridges for fun, was now the only thing keeping him alive. Because now, Fofo Marquez wasn't running the show. He was running from fear. Pure, unrelenting, crippling fear.